A British police officer took surveillance to new heights. He took a police helicopter and decided to go out and film people having sex at a dog park. And this was in the UK, the South Yorkshire Police Department. The police officer has been arrested. He is alleged to have taken the footage that he collected home with him. And his name is Adrian Pogmore. He's 48 years old. He's been suspended, and he could face disciplinary action and voyeurism charges. I just found this to be hilarious because this happened back in 2008, but he only just now got turned into his ex-wife, I should say, his estranged wife, turned him in on this crime 6-7 years later.
Of course.
What's up with that?
Woman scorned.
I guess so.
Hey, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you have to be afraid of? What are you worried about if you're not doing anything wrong? I mean, it's a police state, right? I mean, that's exactly, you don't think that they're going to do this stuff? You don't think that there's some guy working for Booz Allen listening into your phone calls right now under the guise of national security who isn't taking a, you don't think that there's some guy working for some defense who's listening into his ex-girlfriend he's recording it, or the guy she's now fucking, he's getting all his credit card information and putting it, you don't, of course that shit's happening. That's happening all the time. We just haven't heard about it yet because they're blackmailing people with this shit and nobody wants to reveal that they're being blackmailed. That shit is happening all the time, and that's what happens during a police state. Of course, I would do it if I had the ability and a woman broke my heart or some guy took my girl away from me or anything, screwed me over in business, and I have the ability to film him having sex from my helicopter, I'm doing it, right? You're going to do everything you can. That's why you got to keep a short leash on this police state that we're living in, but we never will, right? We never will, because they'll just invent a new, it was crack was the boogeyman, then it was meth was the boogeyman. Now it's terrorism is the boogeyman, now it's peaceful protesters are the boogeyman, Occupy Wall Street. They're all potentially horrible for our country, so you have to spy on them, get all their information, film them having sex, and pepper spray them when they're pregnant.
But these people are in public. I mean, come on, he shouldn't be charged. You're up in the air. If you're going to have sex in the streets or in a dog park, where was this, a dog park?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a dog park.
Then you deserve to get filmed. At least the guy had the decency not to put it online. Because me, if I'm recording you and you're being a perv outside, I'm going to release it to the internet.
Well, but don't you think that there is an issue with a police officer using, a legitimate police equipment? They said that he was in the metal, that the helicopter was being used at the time of the alleged incident for a legitimate policing purpose, and he was using it to assist with operational policing, and then he took advantage of the opportunity, which is exactly what Jimmy's saying, taking advantage of the equipment that they've been given, this surveillance equipment, this military equipment. You got the toys, you're not going to use them.
But they're outside having sex.
Well,
I mean,
that's true,
what Jimmy was saying, like with, going in and stealing credit cards, doing all these other things, it's like, that's one thing. But if I'm already up in the air, flying around, I've finished my work, and now I see you having sex down there, I'm gonna be like, oh,
cool.
I'm gonna record this. Like, nobody told you to be in a park having sex. That's...
Now, see, I think that, go ahead, Jim.
No, the camera they have on their helicopter is the most expensive piece of equipment on the helicopter. It can
thermal imaging camera?
And it can videotape people at night.
Yeah.
So maybe they were at night, it was dark.
They don't have that kind of detail here, but...
maybe you're still outside, though,
maybe it's like that, yeah, but do we really want our government spending money doing this, flying around videotaping citizens? If you happen to be in public doing anything nefarious, we're going to be videotaping. Do
we really want our citizens outside having sex? That's the next question. So,
well, yes, I would think
of
more
course
sex is always better.
I would say the thing that scares me more is the overreach of Big Brother, not the citizens having sex potentially in a park where no one, who knows, probably no one else, I'm guessing no one else was around, or else they would have called the cops themselves, right? So there's probably no one else around. It might have been at night. It probably was secluded. And it was, it's that thing, it's like, you get a ticket for public urination. Well, if you're not in public, like if you can't be seen, that's not public urination, right? So it's not against the law to go to the bathroom. It's just against the law to go to the bathroom in a place that's public. Just like with this sex thing, like if you really can't be seen except by a helicopter with a high power camera that can videotape at night, then it can be seen. Well, that's different.
Well, then on your argument, it goes from 1 second we're in public and the next second we're really public the minute I walk by. Because I don't know you in your car having sex. I don't know what you're doing outside. You're urinating. But the minute I turn that corner and say if I'm with my little niece who's 2 years old and your penis is out, we have a problem. And so, like, what he's done, I don't think he should lose his job for. I don't think he should be going through all of this. I think if we really want to talk about anything, we should talk about who this was in public having sex, and then really find them, and maybe they should get charged, because that's the real issue here. We don't know who was around them. We don't know if there was some 16-year-old kid with his cell phone who also has footage, because he ran up to the car, but they were so busy having sex that he got footage. You know, like, we're going a little bit too far here. This wife was upset.
I think this guy's given power, though, right? This isn't just some random citizen out there videotaping people. This is a guy with the power of the state, given all the money and all the resources of the state, and he's out there doing this stuff. I think he should be fired. I don't
But
want
you're telling
that
me
guy.
if you were up in a helicopter, you would not, and you saw after you're done working, if you saw someone having, you're smiling already.
No, I'm saying
because you know you would start recording someone having sex.
If I'm done working, I wouldn't be in the helicopter, right?
Well, you could be flying back. You could be.
I mean, you're right. You didn't clock out yet until you
Until
land
you
that
land.
thing, right? So you got to land that thing. So as a progressive, my instinct is for who has power in the situation, who's supposed to have more responsibility in the situation.
Yeah.
I want the actor who's acting in the name of the state to have more responsibility in that situation.
You are right about that.
Okay.
I agree.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, then.
I agree.